Hello, dear astrology lovers, dear friends and clients. I'm so happy to see once again those who follow me regularly in my weekly astrological forecast, where I analyze the transit planetary aspects. I'm also glad to see new people who may watch me for the first time. This is not excluded, it's even welcome, desirable. I will present you today the analysis of the transits for the first week of August, from Monday, July 23rd until Sunday, August 6th. And this analysis will be relatively short. Well, at least this is what I always say this to myself, that I will be, compact, short, and I will say only the most important, but it always becomes in the end, very consistent with a lot of details. Why I want to make it short this time? For two reasons. The first one is that, all of us, as we know, in 1 week, on Monday, August 7th, we are living the full moon and the lunar eclipse, and I decided to dedicate a separate video on the both August eclipses, the lunar on the 7th of August and on the solar eclipse on the 21st of August, in a separate, yes, I will talk about this in the separate video, so that's why I will not mention the story of the eclipses in the present video. I will comment on the major transits of the week. And by the way, this is the second reason why the video will be, I will try to make it short, is because we don't have a lot of major transits of the slow planets this week. And we have mostly, the actual aspects of the moon, and only 3 astrological events. The ingression of Venus in Cancer on Monday, July 23rd, the beginning of the retrograde phase of Uranus, and square Jupiter, Pluto, and the rest is the actual aspects of the moon. So stay tuned. Wait for the notification of the video on the eclipses that will be released one of these days, very, very soon. And I also, maybe I will also prepare separate videos about the impact of the eclipses of the month of August on each zodiacal sign. Yes, so stay tuned. Now let's talk about the upcoming week. We are starting the first week of August, but at the same time we are leaving the second quarter, the second week of the lunar month, which will end up by the full moon on the 7th of August. What is, so the moon is growing, right? What is the particularity of Monday, which will be extremely harmonious, and it will be a nice day, awesome day, because first of all of the ingression of Venus into Cancer, where it will last until, it will stay until August 26th. When the planet of love passes by the sign of Cancer, our love affairs become much more intimate. For example, we have desire to stay at home, to talk about our feelings and experiences. We need to experience moments of deep emotional intimacy with the partner, and this applies not only to women but also to men, of course. And if you are yourself in such a situation, your current love life, for example, when you are just started a love story, if your love story is just beginning, this transit defines a great time for strengthening of your relationship, when everything can turn for the better. The disadvantage, the little bit negative manifestation of Venus in Cancer, whether we talk about the position in a natal chart of Venus in Cancer, or if we talk about transit, it comes, it's the same. With Venus in Cancer, it's easy to hurt the feelings of others and to offend loved ones. The similar, effect we can risk to have from other people. We become too sensitive it's easy to offend us and to hurt. Because Cancer is a very extremely sensitive sign of the zodiac. Its ruler is the moon, emotivity, emotions, and in its nature it is the tendency to conceal, to hide the emotions and feelings, or to take offense when the person, the sign of with the Venus in Cancer is hurt. So if you encounter such behavior, if you feel such behavior of the partner, sensitivity and extreme vulnerability, you should treat this with understanding. And well, we also risk to behave. We will most probably behave the same way also with with our partners, with other people. And yet, this is a very good time for lovers, when love does not need words to be expressed, when just a look or a simple touch are enough to understand, to believe, and to be convinced in the depth of the feelings of the partner. Isn't it beautiful? The same day, in the evening, moon is in Scorpio, second quarter, growing in sextile to Pluto, very harmonious aspect, right? And I always worry about my hair, I'm sorry. It's a good moment for establishing relationship with women partners, women co-workers, to seek help from influential women. And it's necessary to think, if in terms of health, it's necessary to think about the degree of rationality of our diet, because the aspect will help us to get rid of bad habits if we have some of them. The next, Tuesday, August the 1st, we have only the actual aspects of the moon, no major aspects of the slower planet. And the moon on Tuesday forms two blocks of, once again, contradictive aspects. First of all, the moon will be on the top of the T-square. The moon will form square to Mars and square to Neptune, okay? The T-square. And what it will provoke in us, what emotional state? The emotional state of emotional instability, impulsiveness, irritability, anger, emotional outbursts also are possible. That's why it's an unfavorable day for contacts with the public, participation in the social life. I don't say that we have to stay isolated at home alone. We can go for a coffee with a friend, but if we talk about participation in very important events, in the meetings, when we have to decide something important for us and other people, the emotional tension will be extremely high, and we risk to these meetings and encounters risk to end up in a negative way, sad way. Special care must be taken when using various tools and mechanisms, sharp objects. This is because of the square moon Mars. Now, what about the square moon Neptune? During this transit, we are too impressionable, and we tend to wander in the clouds, to be lost, in our imagination, our dreams, the world of our imagination. So we should be aware of deception and ourselves to observe. We should observe crystal honesty towards others. Many ideas that come to us will be impractical, will lack of practicism. Also, neuroses are activated, digestion problems are possible. So, not easy. But the worst for me, notice, is always this dense aspect with the Pluto and Saturn, not with the Neptune. But those who have moon and Pisces in their chart, or those who have in their chart tense aspect of the moon with the Neptune, of course, you will catch the vibration of the transit square moon Neptune, okay, and you will feel this negative impact in a sharper way than other people. So, but this is not the situation. The picture of the day is not as dramatic as it could seem at the first glance. What happens is that at the same time with the T-square, the moon will form two trines. You remember this conjunction Sun-Mars the last Thursday in Leo? It's still in the orb. The planets are still in the orb of the conjunction. So the moon, during her squares, during the time when it forms squares, Mars square with Mars and Neptune, it will form trine with Mars and the Sun, actually to this conjunction, which is still in the orb. So these two trines will smooth a little bit the tension of the T-square, and this will help us to find at least partially the state of a balance and stability of the psyche, of our psychological state, and it will help us to rejoice in positive things in our day life, in our everyday life. Sorry. Also, during the transit trine moon's Mars, it's possible to see the activation of a strong sexual attraction to the partner. And it will be easy for us to take the initiative, to show the initiative, and to make the partner understand that yes, I'm here. I would like to see some interaction between us. I always call it interaction. It's not true. I don't even like the word relationship. Interaction, exchanges. Okay. Wednesday, August 2nd. Only actual aspects of the moon once again, and also different aspects. In the morning, the moon in Sagittarius will be in sextile to Jupiter, harmonious aspect, and it will, it's an aspect that brings optimistic, positive mood when pleasant memories of the past come back. When we think about nice moments that we lived in the past, but also we can enjoy the nice moments in the present. Sentimental experiences in the present. So it's in a way it's a very optimistic aspect with Jupiter. But what happens in the evening? We have a very interesting conjunction here. That, I wonder if you know, that at this moment Saturn and Lilith, the black moon Lilith, are almost in conjunction. They are in Sagittarius, And the transit moon each month joins this conjunction, by creating the conjunction, this big stellium conjunction, Saturn, Lilith, Moon. It's not the first time that this aspect happens, I already commented in the past, when the Moon joins the conjunction Saturn, Lilith. So first of all, the conjunction Moon-Saturn is extremely heavy conjunction. Those who have this aspect in their birth chart don't have this problem with the capacity to feel light and happy and satisfied emotionally, even though everything happens, even though everything is all right, okay in their life, even though the events that they go through are only positive. And imagine if something negative happens, those people are dying from depression. Incapacity to feel happiness and joy. It's conjunction Moon-Saturn. It depends also in which sign. If it's, for example, something like Scorpio and Pisces, it's even heavier. But we talk about the transit now, and of course this transit will affect our emotional state of all of us. During the transit, so conjunction Moon-Saturn, we will be able to work better in the most efficient way at home or alone in isolation, because we will be aware of our mistakes, so that our activity will be extremely productive in the end. But still, this is this aspect, this transit conjunction Moon-Saturn brings critical moments. It is a critical moment for our emotions when we experience difficulties in contacts, pessimism, stiffness, when sad memories come back, or and we just think about the past, and not only about the past in general, but about negative moments of the past, sad moments, the loss of appetite. So, not easy, huh? Imagine, in addition to that, Lilith is also the part of this conjunction. What happens during the conjunction with Lilith? There is a risk that we will take out from our subconsciousness, and without any reason, it will be not justified, our negative, secret, hidden complexes that will make us unbearable for those who are around us. Darkness of the soul, when we cease to perceive the pain of others, but ourselves may become vulnerable and sensitive, when we see everything in black. This is the aspect of incoherent, inadequate behavior. I don't say that all of us we will go for meaningless actions. We will do something crazy or inexplicable that people think about us. Oh my God, you are weird. What are you doing? What are you saying? You're not yourself. It's as if it was somebody else who is talking instead of you. It concerns especially those who are basically weird. I'm sorry, I don't want to offend anyone. But the people who have some mental problems, issues, weird people, this transit can activate this behavior, non-coherent, non-adequate weird behavior. But fortunately it passes quickly because the moon passes quickly. The transit of the moon doesn't last for more than a couple of hours. The next, Thursday, July 3rd, we have two major astrological events here. First of all, the beginning of the retrograde phase of Uranus, which will last until January 2nd, 2018. Of course, the cycles, the transit, the aspects of Uranus with other planets, especially with slow planets such as Neptune, Jupiter and Pluto, they affect, the life of the entire world, of economic, political structures, of groups, of the society, of the countries. I don't. This is the subject. These are the subjects of mundane, we say in English, astrology. This department, this sector of astrology that takes care about the predictions on the political, economical level for the entire world and different countries. Right. I will mention how the transit of Uranus, this retrograde phase, can affect our lives. Of us simple people. Our concrete everyday life. The retrograde period of Uranus in Aries, it's a good time for re-evaluation of ideas and projects that we are already working on. Although retrograde Uranus can bring unforeseen twists of the scenario, for those who like it, why not? Since Uranus is the ruler of my solar sign, of my ascendant, of my synthetic sign, of my highlighted sign, of course I would adore to see some unforeseen twists of the scenario, because it will give me, the people who are open to this, such twists of the scenario of their lives. It will give a specific taste to our life, and the feeling of routine will go away, and exciting adventures will begin. And we will see ourselves how our own personality and behavior is changing, and in the same measure as others don't know what to expect from us. Many, many surprises. And this tendency, to see twists of the scenario, surprises, this probability increases significantly if, of course, in your natal chart, in your birth chart, you have personal planets and the cusps of the angular houses, ascendant, descendant, mid-heaven, fourth house, in the degree from 24 to 28 degree of cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, because Uranus will start its retrograde phase being in the 29th degree of Aries, 28, so it's going backward, retrograde, so that's why That's why the degrees of 24, 25, 26, 7, 8 are affected. If you have planets and angles in these degrees of Aries, you will witness more powerful, stronger impact of the retrograde phase of Uranus, okay, in your life. The same day we have the exact aspect of Jupiter in Libra in square to Pluto in Capricorn. The aspect between two slow planets, which impact is extended, of course, for more than 1 month, 2-3 weeks before the exact aspect, 2-3 weeks after. Once again, this aspect influences and first of all, economic structures, companies, countries, social groups. How it will, what impact it can have on our small lives, everyday life of each of us, okay? During the square Jupiter-Pluto, we can behave in a too original and or eccentric way, and such changing of mood, of our mood and behavior, can knock us out from the way, you know, and of course will not get to our final destination, our projects, because of this eccentric behavior. If we talk about partnership and love and marriage relationships, in relations with others, there is a tendency to debate. There will be a lot of mutual misunderstandings, spontaneous disagreements, and unexpected separations. Once again, there is just a tendency, because if you want to know if you're going to break up with your husband, you need to have indications for that in your personal astrological predictions. If you have such indications, and at the same time there's a consultation, yes, there is a square Jupiter-Pluto, this transit will be an additional layer as a confirmation of this risk of a breakup. So, personal transits, personal predictive, the aspects in the personal predictive techniques are more powerful than general transits. This is the most important to keep in mind. Okay, let's get back to our square Jupiter-Pluto. In work and business contacts, we are determined during this transit to start to take on any projects, different business, too quickly. Therefore, during this aspect, square Jupiter-Pluto, we should beware of thoughtless, other words, ill-considered transactions, and stay away from all speculative businesses. We should be very careful when buying and selling goods, and also if you talk about real estate. There may be different opportunities promising easy profits, but they will appear to be profitable only at first glance. And during this, after the exact aspect, for example, they risk to end up by all sorts of losses and crises, and bringing, of course, major problems. Under no circumstances during the transit square Jupiter-Pluto, under no circumstances, we should not start our own business. If we have planned to open our business, we have to wait for this square to pass. And then we have retrograde in August, yes, to eclipse is complicated. Well, this is life. Wait until September. If we have a business, we should not try to forcibly improve its economic situation, bringing some innovations, for example, and we have to be aware of not being caught up in any vague or unclear and unreliable business with somebody else. If somebody suggests you to, do business together, to join his company, no. Any new associations, any new innovations, and especially the start of a new business for you, it has to be postponed, has to be avoided. Wait until the end of the two eclipses of the month of August and of the end of the retrograde phase of Mercury, so at least approximately until the 9th of September, right, if I'm not mistaken. And for material sphere and finance, we should be aware when dealing with the warranties, lending money, and we should be careful with too careless waste of money, financial spendings. Careless. Do not make any secret financial transactions, because during the period of this transit, we will miss a genuine business flair. We think that we'll be able to achieve a lot of things, and we are smart. We will think that we are smart, but we will not be. We will lose the business flair. So this is it. This is my interpretation of square. Of course, other astrologers can have their own interpretation. This is the goal of the exercise, right? To see which interpretation each astrologer offers, right? And it's up to you to decide what to do with that. The same day, what about the moon? Moon is Sagittarius, of course, growing, getting closer to the full moon, in trine with Uranus. a wave of inspiration in our affairs and everything we do. Pleasant communications with friends, colleagues, like-minded people. Of course, our intuition will show us the way out of a difficult situation. And now the end of the week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we don't have major aspects of the slow planets. We have only actual aspects of the moon, and they won't be easy. On Friday, more or less, Moon in Capricorn, opposition to Venus, first of all, will give disagreements in actions with business partners. Mutual neglect of interest can harm the common cause. Pursuit of pleasure, neglection of duties can bring additional problems. You know, this aspect is when you don't feel loved enough, opposition Moon Venus. In love and family, we are touchy and sentimental, super sensitive to small things. But fortunately, in the afternoon and the evening, we have two harmonious aspects, trine to Mercury and sextile to Neptune. The common sense will help us to solve a variety of tasks, a lot of telephone conversation, maximum communication. Do not ignore the advice of an older relative received on that day. And of course, thanks to sextile to Neptune, increases sensitivity. Susceptibility, susceptible in French, the same. You know, French like English, almost, so many words. Increased sensitivity to the feelings and interests of others. Our imagination and insight can tell us the best, show us the best way out of any difficult context or situation, and this aspect is good for further harmonization of relations. And what about the end of the week? Look, Saturday, Moon in Capricorn in conjunction with Pluto. This is another aspect, also heavy. In the same way, it's also heavy as the conjunction with the Saturn, because the Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio, right? So Moon in Capricorn in conjunction with the Pluto on Saturday gives the moment of the intense activity when we try to do many things at the same time, and actually we are able. We have enough of time and strength to do that, but at the same time, a risk of to be burned out, because this is the transit of emotional excitability, which can result in headaches, breakdowns, nervous overstrains. You know, if we do too much because we think that we are capable, and actually we will be capable to do many things at the same time, you know, we will feel extremely tired after that and even exhausted. So, yeah, and the second half of the day, Moon in square to Jupiter. Excessive optimism and extravagance, too many prejudice in statements. Do not give reckless promises. And this will be our tendency to give reckless promises, because we will feel, we will have this need of emotional security, and this pushes people sometimes to give reckless promises. And what about Sunday? There's only one aspect of the moon. Moon is still in Capricorn before to enter Aquarius, the sign of the full moon and of the eclipse. In square to Uranus, emotional imbalance, difficulties in relationships, especially with the women and friends. It's necessary to avoid impulsive spendings, and there will be problems with electrical wiring and office equipment. This was pretty short, I hope. Only aspects of the moon and a couple of major astrological events of the week. I didn't mention the eclipse on purpose because I'm going to release one of these days a separate video on both eclipses and on the impact on all the signs of the zodiac. So stay tuned. Thank you once again for your time, and talk to you very, very soon, within a couple of even hours. Take care. Goodbye.